Good day to you, Elon and Tesla. I picked this particular graphic to represent the dire situation I believe the world is in today. And the only way to maybe, and I repeat, maybe turn the situation around is through Tesla and you, Sir Elon Musk. The situation is so dire that even a globalist, even our president, has changed the facts to promote the narrative they wish to prevent most people from understanding and knowing. You, for example, Elon. Do you understand when the president in one of his campaign speeches said it's already too late for the environment, so we're just going to burn and build, and that's what he's doing, burning fossil fuel and building our economy, which is, it should be a good thing, except for we are in dire straits every time we burn. So Elon, or someone from Tesla, don't understand why he said that or what he meant by it. Well, you're part of one of the initiative. And the only reason why I understand this is because, this may sound weird, but I was visited by wisdom, and she told me, hey, look, tell me what do you see? And all of a sudden I understood exactly what the problem is. And it's not CO2. I'm sorry. Carbon dioxide is bad, and yes, we are getting global warming, but that's not the main issue. My facts, my figures, put the amount of years that we have at maybe 20, 30% the max, and then that's it. I'm sorry, you can go up north, it won't matter. You can go anywhere in the world, it won't matter. Oh, I'm sorry, Elon. I know I sound like a conspiracist, believe in some wild fantasy and figures and whatever you would think, but I'm not. It is so dire I don't share this information with anybody. Why should I? I mean, there's no hope if I, just spew it out on the world and the net. There's no possibility of turning this situation around to make the world better. To maybe, and I have to stress, maybe have hope for the future. Elon, I've held on to this information for years. Now I'm putting it in your hands. I'm sorry, buddy. It's all up to you now. You're the only one with the fortitude, the insight, the will. You want desire to improve the environment. Well, you have to do much more than you're doing today. We have 30 years maybe. And from my math, simple as it might be, you're not going to make it there. You're not going to make 50% by 30. Look, they're talking about 2050 to get to the EV mass marketed. Well, that still leaves 100 million cars on the road that we haven't been able to get rid of for another 20 years. It's just not enough. So let me throw a quick math here. What do you produce a gigafactory every 2 years? Producing 500,000 cars. And how many years are you going to get to 50%? That's 50 million cars. I know this math's going to sound crazy, but it works out in my head. I know you're going to improve production, and I know you're going to get there quicker. But to build 2 plants every 4 years, producing 1 million cars, that comes out to 50 million cars, 200 years. So let's build more plants. Let's say we'll build 2 plants a year that can produce 1 million cars. Elon, that's still 50 years. The other car companies come out with another 25%. That's 75 million cars a year. That's still going to take too long and too late. So what's the solution I'm offering you, Elon? First, we have to open Tesla products and make it an instant global company. Of course, Tesla keeping all the proprietaries that they have developed to do this. The next biggest thing we have to develop is solar on every roof. And I'm not talking about the little bit of solar that the world's putting out now. I'm talking about solar on every roof. It's possible if we can do it cheaper, if we can do it faster, much more customer retentions, and greater profits. I love greater profits. Then we have to turn to the boring company. I live in Philadelphia area. We have 3 projects we're in desperate need boring implementation. And I'm sure there's multiple cities and towns and locations that can use a boring expertise. But as you stated many times, it's still too slow. Speed of a snail, not quite fast enough. And I believe I can help you there. Maybe with the cutter heads improvement. And there's a little technique that I've seen used that can really improve the speed of your boring machines. Finally, we have robotaxi and the trouble with autonomy. A little caveat here, Mr. Musk. It's not that you don't have the information to do all the things you need done. You're not using it. Why determine what a stop sign or stop light is? You already have that information. You have thousands of cars that went by that same information, and guess what? They said whether it was a stop sign or stop light. Use that information. The only thing you really have to process is, if it's a stoplight, what position are the stop signals are? Are they on green, yellow, or red? Very simple. Look at the lights. You don't even need the colors just to see which the bright spot on the stop sign is. 3D might be nice, but you don't need that much information. You have it on the ground. There it is. Look at the ground. The ground will tell you how far the car is in front of you. Whether that McDonald's sign is a stop sign, or is it Burger King, it's a stop sign or a stop light. If you're looking at the sign and you're looking at it from that, it's 1 pixel away. If you're looking at the ground, it's 1,000 pixels away. Use that information. Very simple. I can explain more detail of how to produce this information and how to make your autonomous that much simpler to process. You get rid of all the details that you don't need. You have a simple autonomous that processes 10 times less information, processes it quicker and more accurately. Let me help you on that if you want. Thank you. Now that that's said, that's the whole gambit. We can take an autonomy, we're making it simple to process and simple to make robotaxis now. Made boring much more efficient. And did I mention how that the transport system can be streamlined also? They're making it very profitable too. And finally, my favorite, solar installations and productions. This is where the greatest savings can become, and this is where we really will change the environment for the better in the world. And with instant production capabilities, we can greatly increase our profit margins, greatly increase the world's survivability, and greatly increase Tesla's name brand throughout the world. Okay, I gave you autonomy. Let me speed up your boring machine. This is one technique that, well, I don't approve of it, but it will work very efficiently. And because my design is completely different from your design, but this will work. You open up the middle of your boring machine, make a hole as it were, and let that rock come on through. It gets about 10 feet. You bring up a cradle, a little jackhammer, knock the slug off, catch it, put it on the conveyor belt, away it goes. You can make it easily a 2-foot piece, maybe 2.5 foot, maybe bigger. And that's that much less boring to do. The only thing you have to do is make corner cutters to release the rock from grinding against the boring machine. And that's the only improvement you really need. A cradle, corner cutters, drop it down on the belt, and away it goes. You can determine how big the slug is before you chop it off. And with my other techniques, your boring operation should advance significantly. Thank you, Elon. So, Mr. Musk, if you implement all that I've suggested here, I don't want to stress this enough, but I have to, we might just be able to save the world. So, Elon, do I want to see the end of the world? Do I want to see the fate of mankind? No. I believe we can turn it around. However, I can't do it. Only you can. I can point you the way, help you to become the biggest company in the world, and with greater profits. So I'm willing to release this information to you alone, Elon, and your company. For without you, we're lost. No other company that I have seen, I've even tried to implement some of my ideas to other companies, and they don't have the vision. They didn't have the money or the resources to do what needs to be done. Only you, apparently, Elon, has given this time and this point to do exactly that. And don't get me wrong, by yourself, you are going to become a great company. And by yourself, you're going to be to untold profits. But in reality, it's going to be too late. Your kids, I don't know. I don't want to go there, okay? But all I'm saying is, we are in dire straits, as I said before. The world is, if we do nothing, it's coming to an end. Sorry. Forget the global warming. I mean, that's bad enough. But there's something much more imperative that we have to address. And that you alone, Elon, can do. So I no longer have a responsibility. I'm trying to get this to you. This is a report that, needs to be done, and we need to get together. But if the people that get this and see this don't forward it to you, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm trying to, contact you in many ways. But it's all about you, Elon. Whether you hear this report or not, whether you take initiative and say, yes, it's important, let's see what I have to say, then alone we might, and I repeat again, we might be able to save the world. But until then, till you get this report, I thank you for at least, I thank whoever hears this report for trying also to get this to Elon. So I thank it all, that God blesses us all, for we need his help. And, thank you and goodbye.